Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. As you can see from the Santa picture behind me, it's still after the holidays. We haven't taken stuff down. We don't take stuff down for a couple of weeks just because we enjoy having it all up. But we're now in our relaxation phase. Are you familiar with the term synchronicity? Synchronicity. I hope I don't get this wrong, but synchronicity is like when things come together seemingly to point towards something or have a common meaning, direction, something like that, without an apparent common cause. I believe that's pretty close. I should have looked it up and memorized it so I'd sound smart before I came on here. I want to talk about so that has kind of happened with me, and I want to talk about that. Went down yesterday. The tribe and I went down to Lynn, Missouri, a beautiful little town east of Jefferson City. I hadn't been down in that area for 30 years or more. Had a nice drive. Went down to take a look at a new vehicle. Not a new vehicle. I don't buy new cars, but as those of you know, the last car I bought was in 18 years ago, 2004. It's my Excursion, and I love it. I still drive it every day. But it was time for kind of an upgrade. It's getting up there to 400,000 miles, and it's kind of a work truck now. And so I finally broke down and decided to get something else. And Kelly found one, as a matter of fact. I'm going to make a separate video on this because it's a good story and it's some good lessons in there, but that's not what it's about. Anyway, went down there, picked it up, and I decided to buy it. Bought it on the spot, and it's a nice Yukon. It was everything that I wanted, and for those of you who are familiar with that, it's a Denali, which means that it has everything in the world that they could imagine putting on a vehicle. Most of which I have no knowledge of or understanding of or probably need of. This is leading up to some. And so on the ride back, driving it back, Aiden spent the time explaining to me everything that this vehicle has. Well, now, the phone that I'm speaking into now, I know how to do a couple of things on it. Maybe three. I can make a phone call. I can answer a phone call. I'll add those two together. I can send and answer messages, texts, right? And I can take a picture or a video on it. That's the extent. I know that this thing can do a lot more than that. I have no interest in knowing how to do any of it or even knowing that it can do that. I call my phone not a smartphone, but a smarter than me phone. And I kind of think that that's what this new vehicle is too. It's a smarter than me vehicle. I'll never use half the things it can do and whatever. But that got me thinking. And then I got up today, and this all kind of goes back. I got up today, and the first article that I saw, the first news, actually it was a YouTube. It was a YouTube with Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk. It wasn't them together. It was somebody else's video that kind of brought statements of them, and it was about AI. I don't know as much as probably many of you do about AI. I do know that it's concerning. I know that it's cool. I know that it's unbelievable. The things that are being done with technology, unbelievable. Many of it good, a lot of it bad. Much of it good, I should say. A lot of it bad. And it's scary. I read a book years ago called The Great Mambo Chicken and the Transhuman Condition, I believe was the name of it. And it was about this stuff. And it was about downloading personalities into computers and at the time, it's just weird stuff. You wonder who in the world is thinking about this stuff. Well, obviously a lot of people are. And then something else I ran across. There was another, I don't know if it was a YouTube. I've done some things since then, and my mind has a tendency to offload stuff so I can take new stuff in. I guess my hard drive's getting full. But there was something else. It was another article that also included a video about the development of robots. And then something else came up. This is all synchronistic, right? That's what I'm saying. And then I saw a video by Big Family Homestead, okay, that I subscribe to, and he was talking about the development of AI and technology and all that. And he's a big techie. I mean, he's a technology guy, and I am not. And all those just came together. Well, the interesting thing is that just, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I said to Kelly, I said, we have taught the kids a lot about preparedness. We've taught, or I have, to the extent that's age appropriate, and each of them knows, a different amount about survival. But so often we go to the basics, the low technology, don't we? We go to the low tech. And I myself have talked about how the low tech beat the high tech in situations like organized crime and like the Irish Republican movement. As technology increased by the authorities, they needed to go to a lower technology stance in order to stay off the radar. And anyway, I won't get into that all now. But I have been a proponent of low tech. And not being a techie myself, I'm not particularly attracted to more technology. I think it's cool, but I don't need it. I'll have to admit, I don't know how to turn on my own television set because I don't watch TV. Occasionally something will come up. Maybe the kids want to watch the ball game or we'll watch a movie or something like that. And I have to call one of the kids or Kelly and say, would you turn on the TV? I do not know how to turn on my own TV. So that gives you an idea of where I stand on technology. But I was talking to Kelly and I said, we've taught the kids and we continue teaching the kids preparedness and survival skills and all of this. And each of them are, like I said, participate and are interested to their own level, own appropriate level. But I said the movies that we need to get them watching are the Terminator series. Because that really, and others, there's a lot out there. Those of you old folks will remember Blade Runner, okay? But the Terminator series talks more about what we may be dealing with in the future than does Daniel Boone, right? Now, I know that kind of grates against what many of us want to deal with. I'm never going to get to the point to where I understand technology enough to be able to participate in it either defensively or offensively. I'll be honest, I'm just going to have to rely on other people to do it, and I hope I can rely on my kids. I have some good friends who are real big and, they are like tech supreme. These people work for some of the companies that you would know, and it's basic to them. Like putting on my boots is for me. So I'm lucky to have those people around. But I talked to Kelly and she agreed, and I think it's right that we need to, whether we're able to do it ourselves or at least get that next generation, they are the ones who need to be able to participate. I don't want to use words like carry on the fight or things like that. They need to participate in the increasingly challenging area of technology. Okay, we were able to fight in certain ways. That is not the fight of the future. The fight that's going on right now, for instance, it's not being fought out in the field. It's not being fought in the woods. Okay, it's being fought on keyboards, right? It's being fought in the media. It's being fought in all ways technological. And I think that's important to develop those skills. Only a fool would think that they can fight a war of the future with technology of the past. And I think that's something we have to kind of get past. I remember I was telling Kelly, I remember back in the 70s hearing auto workers up at the BOP plant here in Kansas City saying, I'd like to see a robot try to do my job. Well, guess what? Yeah, right. And that, seemed like a long time ago to younger people, but doesn't seem like that long ago to me, and probably a lot of you. So we need to look at this and understand that real preparedness is about not preparing for what's happened in the past, but what's probably going to be happening in the future. That's preparedness, right? We don't prepare for yesterday. We prepare for tomorrow and whatever that tomorrow may bring. That's also one of the reasons why I have stayed living in the area where I do. My kids go to the top schools, right? The high school that the oldest goes to is one of the very, very top layer schools when it comes to, well, everything, but technology. And while I certainly wouldn't put down the classical education that you can get, because the purpose of schools, as we've said, is, read, write, and arithmetic and the basics. Well, the basics served us well, but the basics are not what's running this world now. It's technology. And so I have stayed in here so they would be in those schools to where everything's done on computers. I mean, they're issued Chromebooks and laptops from the schools. Everything's is computer based. And I need them. We need them. We need the younger generation being super fluent on that, super adept at that. It's not all. People will put down, computers and tablets and things like that. So, well, they just play games and they just do. No, they don't. No, they don't. They do unbelievable stuff on those. And we need certainly the next generation. I'm hopeless. I'm beyond. I'm never going to get back to that. You're never going to get to me to where I'm going to be able to be adept at those kinds of things. But I want my kids, and we need plenty in our world to be able to function at a very high level on those things. So that's why we stay in. It's one of the reasons that we stay in these schools, because they do provide opportunities that they wouldn't get in a smaller district. Not meaning that they get to be better people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about opportunities to learn things that are going to serve us well in the future, which is what we should also do. Anyway, that was just kind of my synchronistic situation here, that it seemed like all of this, so after I had told Kelly that the other day, all of these things came together, and I was just, being hit right and left by all of these things having to do with technology, AI and all that. It's something that I think we need to understand better. Look what happened with the last election. We need to understand it better. We need to be able to function on the, you want to get all tactical and say on the battlefield. We need to be able to function in the digital arena. Not just to protect ourselves, but to affect the world around us if we need to. Anyway, that's my non-tech techie thought process right now. I'd be interested to see what you think about it. It's a new year, and we got a lot ahead of us. And I think I'm just going to have to break down and bite the bullet and tell my kids, all right, Dad's going to sit down. Now tell me how to start working this stuff, because I may be highly functional in other areas, but I'm obviously not highly functional in what's coming down the road, and it's up to me to take care of that. So anyway, you all have a great day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I hope you'll join me in trying to prepare better in areas that what we think we will have to be functioning in the future. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.